Hello, everybody. Welcome to this second part of the webinar. We are hosting about the future of workplace ergonomics using motion capture of Xsens to create a safer workplace. So I'm very pleased to see that there are loads of people already in the chat greeting each other. So a big hi from the Netherlands from me. My name is Jordi Kochel. I'm the Business Development and Partnership Manager here at Xsens, joining from the Netherlands. That's why I have this nice orange accessory with me as well today. Support the Dutch in the Euros. No, just kidding. Welcome everybody. I hope you've enjoyed our first part of this of the webinar series, where we explained a little bit about what workplace ergonomics actually is, how it works, and how we look at that field. So for today, we want to focus more on the motion capture part. Like the last time, if you have any questions, feel free to put the questions in the question section. Please do not put them in the chat section. Next to this, we will host a Q&A afterwards. So it will be a live Q&A. So you can ask me any questions you have, and I will try to answer them at the best of my abilities. All in all, I want to wish you, hopefully an enjoyable webinar, and everything will be recorded. So if somebody was not able to join today, or friends or family or colleagues, you can always share the recording afterwards. We will make sure that it is available on our socials, on our webpage as well. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? I will do a very short introduction on Xsens for the people who do not know us yet. Then I will talk about multiple ways how we can perform a workplace ergonomics analysis. It's a short recap of the last time we did this webinar. Then I will focus on Xsens motion capture technology. How does our technology work? What can you do with it? Then we will make a step into ergonomics analysis options with Xsens. How can you use the equipment to do different types of analysis? We will focus on how some of our customers use our products with the customers and customer case. And then last, we will end this series of the webinar with why do you perform an analysis with Xsens, and focus on some ROI, return of investment. About our company, we're a company from the Netherlands, as I already told you. Today we will be hosting this from our green room in the Netherlands. We've been founded in 2000, so we've been doing this for almost 24 years now. We're a global company with a global presence, and today we will show you how you can use our equipment for workplace ergonomics. We have multiple different areas, so we're also active in entertainment and also in industrial. Here you can see some of our customers in this field. Of course, today we will talk about health and sports because we think the ergonomics area, it falls under health and sports. Sometimes we even call it the industrial athletes, so it's a nice place. If we look at health and sports, these are all different types of companies that either use our equipment for research. You see a few universities, you see commercial companies. Most of these commercial companies actually use it for health and safety or ergonomics. So you have an idea of the people we serve with our products. So a recap from last time. There are multiple ways to perform an ergonomics analysis. We showed you something about the pen and paper analysis, where people get a scoring sheet, pen and paper, they go to the actual workstation and score by hand what they see with their eyes. Another option is AI or video tools. You go to a workplace or to a station or to somebody's place, take your video recorder, your GoPro, your phone, make a recording, and then either score afterwards, again with pen and paper, or you use an AI tool to actually live interpret the data and give you results on what you could see. You have process line software, basically a complete package that helps you with designing the product, setting up the facilities and the factories, process management, everything, where ergonomics can be a small module. And of course, we have motion capture. We are Xsens, motion capture, and that's what we are going to focus on today. So quickly, main benefits over these other three, why you could use motion capture for your ergonomics analysis, is to increase your objectivity, at least to 100% with Xsens. You can eliminate observer bias. It doesn't matter anymore if somebody does it, or your colleague does it, or somebody else does it, and you have an argument because everybody looks differently at a situation, when you use a system like Xsens for this, you can get rid of that observer bias. Nice thing with our kit is you can use it anywhere. Magnetic immunity, I won't be too technical today. If you want to know more about this, we can send you a lot of information and even other webinars about this, how the system works. But you can use it anywhere, in any environment, so outside, inside, at a factory, at steel, at metal, doesn't even matter. Anywhere you can use our equipment. And with the equipment, you can reduce your data processing and your analysis times. It takes a lot of time to score with pen and paper, to make all the analysis. And that's only the first part. Then you have to go back, calculate everything by hand, make your analysis, implement what you have to do. So we want to bring that process into a smaller amount of time using our Xsens motion capture equipment. So basically what we want to do is, from pen and paper, we want to approach an in-depth objective, but also a real-time analysis for ergonomics analysis. So what are these pen and paper methods? I basically put 3 well-known methods on the screen. We have a RULA and RIBA, a NIOSH, and an EAWS. So RULA, it stands for Rapid Upper Limb Assessment. Basically, it's a very fast scoring sheet. You put somebody, you record somebody, or you make a snapshot from a photo, and then with a very easy scoring system, you can say if somebody's arms were in a specific position, if the neck is in a specific position, and even although it is an upper limb assessment, it also analyzes shoulder, elbow, wrist, neck, the torso, and even the lower extremities. Then you have RIBA, which is basically an extension of the RULA. It is the rapid entire body assessment. Basically, does the same thing, takes a little bit more into account about the lower extremities. So basically, this is a pen and paper method for a really fast assessment. If you want to do a snapshot, fast assessment, score, done. Although it's also very generic. So it gives you a very small indication about, okay, now I have my results, but what does that actually mean? Is it very bad or is it okay? That's why sometimes people want to use more advanced paper methods, which for example is the NIOSH or the EAWS. So the NIOSH is from the National Institute of Occupational Health and Safety, or Safety and Health, my apologies. Basically, it's an equation that looks at lower back pain. It's an equation that from the body position and the hands and how you lift something, it looks at, okay, if you symmetrically lift something with 2 hands, you can fill in the lifting equation and you get a score on how bad that lifting technique is actually on the body. And it's used by companies for hazardous control in lower back pain. So basically to analyze working stations and see, okay, how big is the chance on a lower back pain injury? And with this equation, you can objectify that analysis. Somebody has to score it based on all the cutoff values. Then we have EAWS, which is the most advanced of these analyses I have depicted here. The EAWS outputs a score, and the score is comprised of posture, takes into account force, lifting, and additional factors like vibrations, noise, that kind of stuff. So basically the EAWS takes a lot of different analyses and puts it into one score. So as you can see with these pen and paper methods, they are all either very specific and fast, or they take a lot of time and they use a lot of data from different kinds of inputs, put it together and make a score out of that. All these methods have been scientifically validated. If you are trained on them, they are very valid, so I'm not going to say that they're not good. However, they take time, and it takes time to analyze them. It takes time to get really acquainted to them and to be able to use them in a good way. Next to the pen and paper methods, you have AI tools. In my opinion, a really nice development, because basically the idea is you take out your phone, open up the app, you film what is going to happen, and it gives you immediately instant feedback, or you make a recording and you get a nice report out of it. And yeah, you have an instant analysis. So, like I said, the benefits of these type of analysis and AI tools are it's very quick. You can do multiple scoring methods that are all implemented, and it makes it a lot more objective because it's the phone who does the calculations, it's the phone who does, or the app who actually does all the reporting. So it makes it a lot more objective. On the other hand, AI tools are not the holy grail, unfortunately. AI is being AI, not going to discuss about it, but it is a way of analysis. And you have some general disadvantages of using a camera because in this picture, for example, you have good lighting conditions, all the limbs of the person are very well into the picture. But from everybody who has ever done an ergonomics analysis actually in the field, you know that conditions are never optimal. Bad lighting, a lot of noise, a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on, and that makes using video cameras sometimes very difficult. Then we're not even talking about the other aspect, which is privacy. Privacy for the employee, because people in general do not like to be filmed. They feel sometimes it's even like they're under a scope. That's a thing you can discuss about. On the other side, you have companies that do not want people to film at their factories or at their premises because there might be some trade secrets that can be filmed. And if these things leak, it's a danger for the company. So that's why AI tools are a very nice invention in general, in my opinion. I think it's also limited to how you want to use it. So therefore, with Xsens, we use motion capture. Before I go in depth about what we do with motion capture in our workplace ergonomics, I want to quickly explain how motion capture works in general. It'll take you 1 minute because if you want to go, it's quite advanced. So if you want to know more about how it works, please visit our other webinars where we explain actually how this works. As I told you, I have this very nice sensor and the strap. So what we do with our system is we put these sensors, which are IMU sensors. We put them on 17 places in the body, which is the hand, the arm, the upper arm, the shoulder, the pelvis, the legs, the lower legs, and the foot, and of course the head. We do a calibration, so we put somebody in a neutral pose. We let them walk back and forth for 10 seconds, and then you can start already your analysis. So we use sensors to acquire data from the body, and we transfer that movement of the data in our software, which we call MVN Analyze. MVN Analyze is basically where the magic happens, because the sensors only give data. However, to make that data work with the biomechanical model in any environment, that's what the software does. So at Xsens, you buy advanced software that can create movement data from sensors, and we transfer that data, which is basically a huge bucket of data with accelerations, limb velocities, that kind of stuff, into actual ergonomics analysis. So how then do we use our workplace ergonomics proposition? We have multiple different types of packages. I'm saying multiple, but actually only 3. So we have very simple. It is Xsens Ergo, it is Xsens Ergo Live, and Ergo Expert. What you can see, it is for Xsens Ergo, we have devised a package with very standard and generalized reports. So you can see this is our adjustable ergonomics report. You can set some thresholds, you define them yourself. You can input the avatar data, and you can also see synchronized video data, but it's not necessary, so it's optional. And then based on the thresholds you input, it scores for every individual body region. It scores according to the thresholds you have set. So you can see an in-depth analysis here of the joint details, for example. If you scroll down a little bit, you will see flexion extension angles. You can see the green bars, which are your own set ergonomics thresholds. You can see the black bars that say the range of motion cutoff points, and you have a lot of individual data about this specific joint. It gives you percentage outside of limits. It subdivides different tasks. You can look at the overall task in comparison to the subtask you want to analyze, and we provide a spaghetti diagram. So already quite advanced, but we only have Rula REBA, and adjustable ergonomics in this package. So next to that, we developed Xsens Ergo Live. As you can see on the screen, so you have Xsens Ergo Live. Here you see it, thank you. What we do is we have the Xsens data, but we stream the data into a third-party software, which is ScaleFit Industrial Athlete. It's a company from Germany, and we have been working with them for a long while. And as of the start of this year, we have been collaborating very closely that actually Xsens is also selling the ScaleFit software. We stream data into ScaleFit, and in here you can see you can do a live analysis of somebody that is working. So you see the person is wearing the Awinda system. You can see it's automatically scoring the back, the shoulders for all individual side parameters like lifting, arm elevations, neck and disc load. So it gives you a very, very nice and intuitive overview of the system. Then we have Ergo Expert. Ergo Expert is basically you use our MVN Analyze Pro software. So it's the research data, the big bucket of data. But then a company hires a software development company to build software on top of Xsens. So you can implement your completely own values, vibrations. You can make links to your own different kind of software systems. So it's very flexible in terms of you can get all the data of Xsens, but you need an expert to be able to transfer the data into something meaningful. Today we want to focus a little bit more on Xsens Ergo Live. As I already showed you, we work together with ScaleFit. The nice thing is what you can see here, we're in a heavy metal environment, lots of stuff going on, interference. You see the data is super good. There's no drift, no nothing. And you're actually very well able to see based on international standards, because these are all ISO norms, the DGUV, which is the German accident insurance that sets all the thresholds that have all been defined in ScaleFit, and you can do a live analysis of this. Next to the live analysis, what is very nice with ScaleFit, it also provides you with a ability to do advanced reporting in Excel. So as you can see on the screen, on the left side, you see for 6 body regions, you see that every body region is being scored on 3 individual things. First one is the person bending over, which indicates forced postures. You see the weight that indicates the weight on a specific body part. And you see the thing going around, which counts for the repetitions. So the amount of repetition that specific body part is making. And if you look at the lower right one, that is the sum of the 3. So this is also the way the report from ScaleFit is built up. First, you get a 1 total score of all the body regions, which you can see on the left side below. And then it gets more advanced. So you can deep dive into the reports. You can look at each individual forced postures. What is happening with my repetitions? You can see that on the right side in the middle. But it automatically scores it according all international norms. So if you look closely on the right side, you can see the repetitions are being scored on a EN norm, for example, for all the different body parts. And then if you are not satisfied with that level of data, you can even deep dive on specific body regions. I highlighted the one for the lumbar disc compression. You can see immediately how many times somebody is spending in the green, in the yellow, or in the red zone. It gives you a risk score for the forced postures afterwards. You can see a nice pie chart of how green, yellow, and red are divided in the complete recording. And it also counts for the number of repetitions per minute, the maximum load the body was exposed to, and it all scores it also immediately. So you can see a yellow, you can see a red. And for some parameters, you can see there is a dosage model. So the ScaleFit reporting tool, it takes into account, okay, let's say we make a recording of 15 minutes, but it calculates how much time it would need for the body to reach 100% level of that day, which means that if you keep doing that 15-minute task, how much times of 15 minutes can I do this until I reach 100% of body load, which means that if I exceed that, there's a high chance that that specific body region will probably get injured or get strained. which makes it very nice to do a short recording, but you are able to extrapolate the data, and also you can change that. So if a task only takes 2 hours, you can see what is the impact of a 2-hour task from a 15-minute recording. But also the other way around, if I make a recording of 4 hours and I only want to see what the effect is of 14 minutes, because that's one cycle, you can also do it the other way. So all in all, what is very nice with the Xsens Ergo Live package we offer, it gives you flexibility, it gives either live analysis or an extensive reporting tool afterwards. And if you want more information, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to show you more in depth how this works, or even if you want to try it. Xsens, we provide loan systems. We can send you a system for 2 weeks and then free of cost, and then you send it back to us after you have used it. So feel free to reach out to us and we can set you up with this. All in all, I've talked already a lot about who we are, what we do, why are we good at the things we do. But in the end, we're only as good as how people think of us. So that's why we really value the opinion of our customers, and we are in close collaboration with our customers, because also we need to improve things. We are not also always the best in some things. So that's why we always say, hey, do you want to know how good we actually are? Either test it yourself or go to this or this customer and ask them how they think of us. So for example, we did 2 cases. One is Toyota and one is BMW. They both, these brands, use our systems in multiple factories all over the world. And you can read how they think of us. Below that, you see multiple other customers of us that use our systems for workplace ergonomics. Today, I want to deep dive into one specific, which is the Dutch vehicle authorities. We call the RDW. These guys, they did extensive testing with our ergonomics analysis tool, ScaleFit and Xsens. And what you can see on the right side is, first, we asked the user, why did you consider Xsens? So he said, normally when I have to analyze my working postures, for me that's very time consuming and labor intensive. So to analyze one task, it takes me so much time. And then on the other end, it's sometimes very difficult to determine and interpret the frequencies, the durations, which is difficult. So that's why he is using Xsens now. He says, for me, it's a very easy to use tool, and it automatically provides me with the accurate and reliable data I need. So, and next to that, it gives me a comprehensive analysis, which is for me way more accessible than combining all these individual scores of individual tasks I have to make myself. As you can see, you've seen some nice pictures of what we did and how we used it. And yeah, like he said, what he specifically liked about ScaleFit, for example, is the fact that it gives a very clear visual support. So we could immediately show the employer or the employee, like, hey, the person is moving in this direction. This is the effect on the body, which created a really nice buy-in from the people who are actually in the suit, and they understand way better the way they move, but also why specific movements or specific tasks might not be good for them to do in the way they always do it, or maybe to change it more often. So that's what I wanted to show you. We're very happy with these guys, and I'm also very happy that we could help them with their analysis to improve the workstations. So in the end, a lot of information, a lot of stuff we talked about, but sometimes also comes down on, okay, very nice, Xsens, but why do I need to perform these analysis for ergonomics with your kit? I've summed down a few points here. It is affordable and gives you a quick ROI. Our data is objective and validated, because from origin, our system comes from research. We have like over 1,000 universities in the world that use our equipment, so a lot of validation, so you can trust the data. It gives you a really better employee satisfaction. People feel engaged, they think it is fun, and it boosts morale, and people feel engaged in the safety process. Next to that, the reporting tools we provide are all based on scientific data. So all the analysis is scientifically related and gives you a really nice also structure. Let's say, for example, I'm a health and safety specialist and I have to go to my manager and tell them, okay, hey, this workstation needs to be improved because this was the analysis, it was red for this specific body part, so we need to fix it, then he cannot go around that data anymore because the data was valid and it's objective. So there's no discussion about the quality of the analysis anymore. If you look at return of your investment, you can see on the right side, I've shown a study from Canada that basically what they looked at was, okay, if I invest money in work and health in general, how does that help my company? So they said the investment on occupational health and safety was positive. Actually, when they looked at the manufacturing business, employees were able to get a return of investment of 24% on top of their investment. Then for transportation, it was even 114. And for construction, it was 34. So we are happy to provide you with these articles if you want to know the source of them. In general, what I see from the last 3.5 years, going to different factories, going to different people, myself being a physiotherapist and a human movement scientist, I see that when people use the equipment, they think it is fun, it is reliable, it's robust, they can use it anywhere, and it actually provides them with good data so they can use it on a daily basis. But also, one health and safety specialist or an ergonomist, they can do way more analysis in one day than they could normally do in a week. For example, I've had guys that if they want to analyze one workstation, took them sometimes a day or 2 days, whereas now they can do multiple different workstations in one day. If you look in return of investment, it's not only in the money, but also in the effectivity of how you use your time. And a lot of these guys actually don't want to spend time on collecting the data, but actually on improving the situation. And with this kit and these different types of solutions we offer, you're able to spend less time in data collecting and more time in using your collected data to actually make an impact in the company and improve the situation. That is what I wanted to show you today. It was a lot of information. I hope you liked it. Feel free to put any questions in the question section, and then from here we'll start to go over the Q&A. Thank you for your attention. I hope you liked it. Like I said, any feedback is welcome, so feel free to put that in the chat or in the question marks. Thank you. So what I will do, I will switch down a little bit to my very nice iPad, which should give me an overview of all the questions that might be there. So let me check. First question I see here is from Daniel Lanzoni. My apologies if my pronunciation is off. Are there any regulations, normatives governing to use these tools in companies? Good question. What I see in the companies I've been, and it's mostly big manufacturing companies in automotive industries or metal factories, that kind of stuff, railway, because our system runs on an offline setting, so you only use a laptop which does not connect to the network or anything, and we use a radio frequency protocol that is not interfering with any type of other communications, people are generally allowed to use it. I have had no situations that we are not passed by any company. Only downside we have with reports, it's in the cloud. So cloud security can sometimes be an issue. I'm going to be honest about that. Some companies do not allow that. We are trying to solve that. So in the future, you can expect something from us in that sense, but that's what it is for now. But next to the reports, I've never had an issue for companies using our equipment. I hope that answered the question, by the way. I have a question from Laurent Slonoim. Can you say again which German norm you use for scale fit or Xsens Ergo for these thresholds? So we use multiple. We use EN norms, we use ISO norms, and we use the NIOSH action limits, and we use norms from the DGUV, which is the German Social Accident Insurance, or the IFA, it's the Institut für Arbeitswissenschaft in German. It's an institute for workplace ergonomics, so to say. All this in-depth information I'm happy to provide you because we have all the white papers, all the norms and everything, how it is scored available, so we can share that with you. Let's see. So I have a question here from James. Hi, James. Happy to see that you're joining the webinar as well. He's asking how the disc loading can be calculated without incorporating the forces in the surrounding muscles, for example, in a muscle model like Bob. Good question. And I know, James, you're from Bob, so I know you have a very good model on calculating muscle forces and body joint loads from your own models. I'm not saying that ScaleFit is a software that can do it very well. What ScaleFit did to implement these loadings for the neck and for the disc, it's based on a Zatorsky model. It's a model in the biomechanics, and based on the Xsens data, they built the algorithm to give an indication of the disc load and the neck load. And for ergonomics, I don't think we should not, but it's my personal opinion, we should not focus specifically on a number, but it should give an indication for an ergonomics or health and safety specialist to look at that and say, okay, hey, if it is yellow or red, there might be something that is training on the back. And that should be the trigger for them to investigate and to see, okay, if this happens more and more and more, and also the employee is confirming that they have back strains or they know it from previous injuries, then it indicates that there is something happening. And that's why I think the ScaleFit Industrial Athlete software gives a good enough indication based on all the research data we provide from Xsens to make the analysis based on the Zatorsky model. Also, Maximilian Padolt also asked the same question. So how was the force data recorded, synchronized in mocap data in Ergo Live? So it's through our data, and then the Zatorsky model is interpreting that. So I got another question about the disc load. I will first go over these, then we have that covered. So on accuracy, Marcus is asking, okay, how accurate is the disc load and what is the calculation based on? Same answer. Reach out to us. I'm happy to provide you with all the articles and how it is calculated. So Nula Taleb Salah is asking, how can the weight and leaning components of the rebar worksheet be managed in the Xsens software and for the reports? That's very easy, because in our report section, we have an editing point. And in the editing, you can say if there was body support or if there was leg support and how many loads they were carrying between, from the back of my head, between 0 and 5, 5 and 10, or above 10 kilograms. Another question, is motion capture technology a part of human-computer interaction, research area of computer science? We actually have a separate, what we call business field that focuses on human robotics. So if you look closely, for example, in the ads of a big car company that is building robots, then you will see some people in black suits with an orange line, and they control the robots. That is basically Xsens feeding data into the robots and the robots being trained with our data. So I hope that answers your question. Another question about the lumbar disc compression from Anne de Vries. I hope, Anne, we answered your questions by the answers I previously gave. Otherwise, please let us know. A good question from Alan Barr. He says, any plan to develop software packages for the DOT system? So quickly explaining, the DOT system is another sensor Xsens provides, which is a development platform. So we provide you with a sensor or 5 sensors in a package. And we give you the free sensor data. That means acceleration, magnetometer, and gyroscope data. And then somebody has to develop the application themselves on top of the sensors. So that basically is also the answer, because DOT is a development platform. And we sometimes even say we have one DOT and 1 million possibilities. You can develop so much with that one sensor that we say, hey, we rather provide you with a good sensor that is easy to implement in a software solution, and you can develop that yourself. So that is with DOT. So it's a very separate business line. And what we do here with Awinda is the MVN Analyze software is we provide you actually with the research grade data. And then, for example, with ScaleFit, we have a software party that develops on top of that. Good question from Joel Tabanrango. Can this be a possible add-on on the existing Awinda system? Yes, because if you already have an Awinda system and our software, MVN Plus or Pro, you can just use the network streamer to stream data into ScaleFit. So the ScaleFit software is only, you only have to buy the ScaleFit software, or you can use the cloud, the Motion Cloud, to generate a standardized report. So yes, on both packages, it is possible. Question from Kimia van Aken. If we can share the ROI articles, yes, I will be happy to share them with you. If you leave a reply, or I believe you all got a poll if you wanted to be contacted afterwards, please say yes. I will contact you, or somebody of my colleagues will contact you, and we will make sure that we can share the necessary information with you. Another question I have here from Anne. What distinguishes ErgoLive from other objective measurement systems? I think that's a double question, because we have ErgoLive as a software and Xsens as a measurement system. So if I look at ErgoLive with the ScaleFit software is a software that is built to interpret motion capture data for ergonomics workplace analysis, whereas we have Xsens, which is a system that is built to do motion capture. So we capture movement with our IMU sensors, and then that movement we try to get as accurate as possible into the computer for somebody to analyze that data. But if you look at Xsens, we have IMU sensors, but of course there are multiple other solutions or systems, as we call them. For example, you have optical camera systems like Viking or Qualisys that can do motion capture. But yeah, because you use the cameras and you're bound to the environment again, you lose the flexibility of walking around your factory or doing the analysis on site. I hope that answers the question. Otherwise, let me know. I see a question from Otto. If we offer discounted prices for universities, if you're interested in a price offer, I think it's good based on the different options we have. Feel free to leave your contact details, and we will contact you, Otto, and discuss about what the options for you are. So if I look at my tablet, there are 2 questions remaining. Are external forces, this one is from Will Heath, my apologies. Are external forces, weight of materials, force, grip forces, push and pull forces inputted manually, or are the force sensors used? So good question, because our system, we only detect movement. We do not measure force. There are external devices that, for example, there are force gloves available that detect that data. And then afterwards you can sync the data with Xsens, but it's a more extensive process. And otherwise, for example, in ScaleFit, with the numpad, you can input force manually. So you can say, for example, if I'm lifting this iPad, I can say, okay, the force is applied in my 2 hands, and it is, for example, 1.5 kilo. Now I'm lifting that, and I input that in ScaleFit. So you have to do a manual input. Unfortunately, we're not that far yet that we have that automated and automatically. Would be amazing. I totally agree with you on that one. Another question from Mariam Namazafarit. How much expertise does staff need to analyze the output data to finally understand how to improve workers' performance or to give training to improve their physical fitness? Does the software offer suggestions that the person can apply without having too much expertise? Really good question. On the one hand, I would love to give you the answer, hey, our software can interpret the results of a reporting and give you even some advices. technically, potentially that should be possible. On the other side, myself being a physio and a human movement scientist, I think we should be very careful with that, because in the end, you have people in ergonomics and health and safety specialists and people who focus in this area. These are the experts. Xsens is not the expert, and we should not tell people what they need to do. So it is easy to set up our system. It is easy to get the data and to get the reporting, but interpretation of the report is for somebody who has the knowledge of it. It is very intuitive. You can see green, yellow, red. So it gives you, of course, an indication, but in my opinion, it's still the interpretation of data needs to be with an expert and not with the software company. I hope that answers the question. Another question from Anna, good one. No problem, ask as many questions as you want. Can you describe how to integrate video recordings into Ergo Live? That's very easy, like you do, for example, in your Teams or in Zoom. Basically, you go to the settings, you go to camera and you select a USB camera, any type of USB camera, as long as it's not a GoPro, and then it will implement the data automatically in your software. So it will be synchronized. And in the video you saw, it was a complete overlay behind the avatar, but you even have the option to have it on a small sidebar, and you have the option there. And always a separate video file will be stored on the computer, so you can even anonymize that one or even remove it afterwards if you don't want to have issues with privacy or that kind of stuff. So you are in full control of the video footage yourself. I think my iPad is down on the battery, so I think there are no more questions. I want to thank you all very much for your attention today and the very good questions. It was my pleasure to tell a lot about workplace ergonomics, and I hope I can speak some of you in the future again, either at conferences, at other webinars. Myself, I will be present at the Applied Human Factors Conference in Nice in 2 weeks. So maybe I will see some of you there. If not, I want to wish you all a very pleasant rest of the day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're from. And hope to see you soon again. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.